Hello, today I'm going to be covering numerical expressions, which is module 5.2. I'm on page 269 in the textbook. All right. Today's module is going to be covering order of operations. You might have heard of this as PEMDAS. Let me just make this window bigger. All right. So here we go. A numerical expression is a combination of numbers in at least one operation, such as 4 squared plus 7 divided by 3 minus 1. To evaluate a numerical expression, you find its value. A numerical expression can be evaluated using the order of operations. The order of operations are the rules that tell which operation to perform the first when more than one operation is used. This guarantees that the same value of numerical expression is found each time the expression is evaluated. So the first thing you will always take care of are your grouping symbols, which include parentheses. So that's why we have the P for PEMDAS. Then you evaluate all powers, so exponents. Then you take care of multiplication and division. You work left to right, but that's why the M and the D are there. And then finally, you take care of adding and subtracting. Again, you work left to right, so adding and subtracting. So here is an example of an expression, and it is solved by using the order of operations. So the first thing that is taken care of is the parentheses. 14 minus 9 is 5. Then we see exponents, 6 squared. That's the same thing as 6 times 6, which is 36. Notice how they just bring everything down. So now we have subtraction, division, addition, multiplication. When division and multiplication are together, you work left to right. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. Then they're going to take care of the multiplication. 5 times 2 is 10. We're left with 36 minus 4 plus 10. When subtracting and adding are together, you work left to right. So 36 minus 4 is 32. And the last step is just to add, and our answer is 42. I know that seemed like a lot, so let's go ahead and practice. So they do one more example for us. They have evaluate 100 minus 3 squared times 6 plus 4 plus 2. All right, so the first thing we need to take care of when we're doing PEMDAS is parentheses. So they did 6 plus 4 first, which is 10. That's why it's in red. Bring everything else down. So we have a subtraction, exponents, multiplication, addition. Exponents comes next. 3 squared is the same thing as 3 times 3, which is 9. Now we have subtraction, multiplication, and addition left. We multiply next. We get 90. We have subtraction and addition left. We work left to right. 100 minus 90 is 10, and then 10 plus 2 is 12. Our answer is 12. Okay, now it's our turn. Okay, evaluate 23 minus 8 plus 2 cubed times 2 plus 10. So I'm just going to write down PEMDAS as a guide. Okay, so we want to take care of our grouping symbols first. We see this big old bracket, so I'm going to underline it. We know we need to take care of that first. Inside that bracket, we have another grouping symbol, which are the parentheses. I need to take care of what's happening inside the parentheses. Okay, inside the parentheses, I have an addition sign, but I also have an exponent. So I need to take care of that exponent first because exponent comes before addition. So 2 cubed. 2 cubed is the same thing as 2 times 2 times 2. Well, we know 2 times 2 is 4. And then bring down that times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. So 2 cubed is the same thing as 8. So now I have 23 minus parentheses 8 plus 2 cubed. We got 8. Close the parentheses, close the bracket, and bring down everything else. I like to bring everything else down so I don't make any mistakes. Okay, I'm still inside the bracket, and I'm still inside the parentheses. So now I can add 8 plus 8 is 16. So now I have 23 minus, I can get rid of the parentheses now since I finished inside the parentheses, all I had was addition. We got 16. I'm still inside the bracket. 23 minus 16, we get 7. Bring down everything else. 7 times 2 will come next because multiplication is way up here and adding is down here. So I'm going to do multiplication next. 7 times 2 is 14. Bring down the plus 10. 14 plus 10 is 24. Our answer is 24. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next example. In this example, we need to take care of our parentheses first. Inside the parentheses, we have an exponent. 8 squared, that's the same thing as 64. Okay, we're still inside our parentheses. So now we're going to do 64 divided by 2/5. If you do your keep, change, flip, that's how they get 160. Bring everything else down. We have addition and multiplication. Multiplication comes before addition. 160 times 2 is 320. And then 5 plus 320 is 325. All right. Let's go ahead and try another one together. All right. So again, write down PEMDAS. The first thing I'm looking for is grouping symbols or parentheses. I see it right here. So I need to take care of whatever's inside. I'm going to ignore everything else. I have 2 to the 4th power minus 3. Exponents come before subtraction. So I need to take care of this 2 to the 4th power. 2 to the 4th power is the same thing as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. We know 2 times 2 is 4. I'm going to bring down this times 2. 2 times 4 is 8. I'm going to bring down this last one. 8 times 2 is 16. So 2 to the 4th power is 16. All right, so I did one step. I'm going to bring everything else down. I do that because I don't want to get confused with what I'm doing. Okay, I'm doing one step at a time. I find that when students do more than one step at a time, that's where we make an error with our order of operations. So now we're going to do 16 minus 3 because we're still working inside the parentheses. 16 minus 3 is 13. Bring down everything else. Now I have multiplication and addition left. According to my order of operations, I'm going to do multiplication before addition. So I'm going to do 8 and 2/10 times 13. I get 6, 24, drop a 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 8 is 8. All right, I have 1 decimal in my problem, so I move it over 1 place. I get 106 and 6/10. Bring down the plus 8. All right, so now I just need to add 106 and 6/10 plus 8. If you want to include a decimal 0, you can. My answer is 114 and 6/10. All right. I'm going to move on over to example 3. Okay. Paula is shopping for items shown in the table. Write an expression to represent the total cost of 5 lotions, 2 candles, 4 lip balms, and find the total. So the first step is to write the expression, and they already did that for us. So 2 lotions. I'm sorry, 5 lotions, 2 candles, 4 lip balms. So they went ahead and wrote it all out. Notice how they used 5 squared, okay? $5 for 5 lotions, per 5 lotions. So instead of writing it as 5 times 5, you can write it as 5 squared. 5 times 5 is 25, and 5 squared is the same thing as 5 times 5. All right, so go ahead and find the total cost. We know 5 squared is 25. We need to do 2 times 7 and 80 hundredths. All right, I have a decimal in my problem. There's 2 numbers behind it, so I move it over 1, 2. So this is going to be $15.60. And then 4 times $2.49. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 1, 2, 1, 2. So I get $9.96. And when I add all of these up together, I get $50.56. All right, I'm on page 272. All right. Tickets to a play cost $10.50 for an adult member of the theater, $19.95 for an adult non-member, and $8 for students. Suppose 4 non-members, 2 members, and 8 students are buying tickets for the play. Which expression can be used to find the cost of the tickets? So we have 4 non-members. Non-members cost $19.95. So we know we want to do 4 times $19.95. So process of elimination. D has that. C does not. So right away we can get rid of C. B has that. A, if I did my distributed property, it would have it, but I'm not quite sure about everything else yet. So I'm going to leave that one there for a second. Okay. 2 members. 2 members cost $10.50. So let's go ahead and check. D has that, 2 times 1050. B has that. A does not, because if I did the distributed property, that would be multiplying it by 4. So nope, A is out. And then $8 for students, and there are 8 students going. So 8 times 8. All right, so D has 8 to the 8th power, and B has 8 squared. Remember, 8 squared is the same thing as 8 times 8, which is what we have written down. So our answer is going to be B. Okay. Now it says, what is the total cost of the tickets? Okay. Why don't you go ahead and figure that one out? I'm moving on to page 273. All right. An art store sells different size art kits that include crayons and a sketch pad. The table shows the number of boxes of crayons and sketch pads in each kit. A school buys 30 small, 35 medium, and 10 large kits. Then they return 11 art kits. How many boxes of crayons and sketch pads do they have in all? All right, so we're trying to figure out the total number of boxes of crayons and sketch pads the school has. Okay. Before I start, I noticed something in the problem. Before I start doing any multiplication, originally it says they bought 35 medium, but then they returned 11. So before I get started, if you're returning something, it means you're taking it back. So I'm going to do a subtraction. 35 minus 11, which is going to be 24. So there's 24 medium. Okay. So now I can go ahead and start with my multiplication. Okay. So for the small, there's 30 of them. So I'm going to use my finger and read across. For small, there's 16. So if we're buying 30 of them in a small kit, there's going to be 16 boxes of crayons and 20 sketch pads. Okay. Medium, there's going to be 24 kits purchased. So I'm going to do 24 boxes of crayons and then there's 40 sketch pads. So when I do this, I'm going to be multiplying 24 times 24, and then 24 times 40. Okay, and then the last one, they're buying 10 large art kits. In a large art kit, there's 68 boxes of crayons and 100 sketch pads. All right. So here I go. I'm not going to be combining my 16 and my 20, my 24 and 40 and 68 and 100 because the numbers on the left all represent the crayons in the parentheses, and the numbers on the right represent the sketch pad. So I'm going to kind of leave them alone. So here we go. I'm going to distribute. I'm going to do 30 times 16, which is 480. And then 30 times 20 is 600. 24 times 24 is 576. 24 times 40 is 960. 10 times 68 is 680. And then 10 times 100 is 1,000. All right, now I want to add all of the boxes of crayons. So there's 480 for the small, 576 for the medium, and 680 for the large. So I'm going to go ahead and add that together. 16 plus 7 is 23. 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 plus 6 is 17. So I get 1,736 boxes of crayons. Now I'm going to go ahead and add. Now I'm going to go ahead and add all of the sketch pads. So 600 plus 960 plus 1,000. I get 2,560 sketch pads. All right, I'm on page 274, last problem. At a summer camp, you can buy clothing embroidered with the camp logo. Short sleeve shirts are $15, shorts are $18, and long sleeve shirts are $25. During the final week of summer, your clothing is marked down to 75, 3/4, which is 75% of the original price. You buy 2 t-shirts, 1 pair of shorts, and 3 long sleeve shirts. What is the total cost of the purchase? Okay, so if your original price went down and now you're paying 75% of the price. Okay, so the original price, this is going to be a little over your head. I'm going to try to explain the best I can. The original price, you're paying 100% of the price. Now it's on sale and you're only having to pay 75% of the price. That means it went down by 25%, went down 25% in price. Okay, so I need to figure out how much these items cost now that I'm only paying 75% of the original price. So for example, the t-shirt was $15. To figure out how much it costs, you're only paying 75% of the original price. Okay, notice I'm using 75% and not 3/4. 3/4 is equal to 75. Okay, so I'm just going to use percent when I'm working with money. I think it's easier. Okay, and we've learned that when you write 75%, if you want to change that to a decimal, you just move the decimal 2 places to the left, 1, 2. So that's the same thing as 0.75. So to figure out how much this t-shirt costs, I'm going to do 15 times 75 hundredths, and I get $11.75. So that's how much you're paying for the t-shirt. It was $15. Now you only have to pay $11.75. For the shorts, the original price was $18. Now you only have to pay 75% of that original price. So 18 times 75 hundredths, and you get $13.50. And then the long sleeve shirt was $25. You're only paying 75% of the original price, which is $18.75. So this is how much the new items cost when they're on sale. All right, now it says that you buy 2 t-shirts, so $11.75 times 2, plus you're buying 1 pair of shorts, so the shorts are $13.50. And then you're buying 3 long sleeve t-shirts. All right, let's go ahead and solve that. $11.75 times 2, I get $22.50. Bring down the $13.50. And then $13.75 times 3, and I get $56.25. So when I add them all together, my answer is $92.25.